Hi guys, Mr. Rothwaffles here. This is the new Black Ops 3 announcement video, aka Back in Black, that we're going to be breaking down. I'm going to play it for you now so you can hear the audio.
This should help you remember everything.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Everything you know is wrong.
Your life will be consumed by absolute loss.
He doesn't need his own weapons. He's got ours.
They'll always need men like us.
Our greatest barrier is our own fear. Our own doubts. The only thing holding us back is how far we are willing to go.
Okay, so in my usual style, we're going to be going through this and breaking this down. There's a lot of information to cover here. I would like to say, though, that I'm probably going to end up doing a follow-up breakdown to this once some of the finer details get worked out, but for now, there is still plenty to talk about. We start off with this coordinate here, 1.3 degrees north, 103.8 east. That set of coordinates is going to give you Tanglin Halt Road in Singapore. And interestingly enough as well, you can see in this image here, these sort of weird ladder type things. Not really sure what they signify. Interesting though for sure. Notice on the left here, and this is going to recur as is the ladder image throughout this, but on the left we've got this thing that kind of looks like a TIE fighter almost, or like an unknown from Pokemon. Extremely strange. What they signify we don't know, but we'll no doubt find out in the coming days and weeks. Here we have another set of coordinates coming in the top right, which we're going to look at in just a moment, and also the ladders and stuff in the bottom left, and just symbols all over the screen. One thing I would like to say is that these coordinates, you actually see they go from 30.0500 north to something that is starting with 40. Now, this makes it clear that some of these are changing. Obviously, a lot of the symbols on the screen are constantly changing, and some of the coordinates are too. Now, I'm making the sort of educated guess, I guess, that the actual changing coordinates aren't anything relevant whatsoever. It's just the ones that they actually stick on. The actual transitional numbers we can ignore. So when it changes to 40 instead of 30, in my opinion, that's irrelevant. A bit later on, you'll see 115. It ends up changing to 116, 117, 220. I think that those transitional numbers we can ignore because it sticks on the 115, and that is the important number. Speaking of 115, we see it here on the left. That's obviously element 115. If you're a fan of Call of Duty in general, you should know what this is. And if you don't know what it is, then what planet have you been living on for the last 5 years? In the bottom right, we also have that new coordinate that I mentioned, 30.0500 north, 31.2333 east. And that is going to give you Cairo in Egypt. Very interesting stuff. On top of that, we've got this logo inside this sort of tube that's been made up here with all these symbols. What that logo is, I don't know. I don't recognize it off the top of my head. If you guys have any thoughts, then drop them in the comments section down below. I'm sure this is something that we will unearth in the next couple of days for sure, or today, and I'll be posting about that obviously on my channel in the future as soon as it is cracked, so to speak. Moving on. We go a little further and we see this box. Now, in my mind, this looks like a constellation, okay? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, seemingly, and I reckon this looks most similar to the square of Pegasus. It doesn't look like part of the Big Dipper to me. It doesn't fit. It doesn't look like part of the Little Dipper. That's Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. Doesn't look like either of them in my opinion. Looks closer to the square of Pegasus with one arm pointing off towards Andromeda. That's my opinion. Again, it doesn't fit exactly. But the thing is about constellations is that they're completely dependent on perspective. And so you can look at a star that is part of a constellation, say Orion, that we can see from here on Earth from a completely different point in space, and looking at it from that point will make the constellation look completely different. It won't be the same shape. So constellations generally are an Earth-based thing. They're perspective-based, and so because of the fact that this is moving, it could end up being a variety of shapes, and we just can't actually see what the true shape from Earth, so to speak, is. Then again, we keep going and we see, again, more of those TIE fighter symbols and general squiggles all over the damn place. And also on the right, again, we see those ladder type drawings. Now, I reckon that's probably some kind of language in some way, shape or form, but it's not something I'm familiar with, that's for sure. We keep moving on, we see more TIE fighters, and again, more squiggles everywhere, and then keep moving on further still, and we see this really weird text. It looks like cuneiform, sort of, but It's just extremely strange. You can see it in the top right of your screen right now if you're wondering what I'm talking about. And I'm going to actually have another screenshot of it here, just so you can get another good look at it. It's extremely strange, and this is something that I'm hoping to be able to get translated in the next couple of days. If you've got any ideas about this, then feel free, again, to post in the comment section, and we can discuss and try and figure out what all this is actually referring to. Keeping going, I've got one more screenshot just so you get an extra good look at what that actually is. And then we keep going, and we see a figure beginning to form. That figure actually contains another set of coordinates, 47.3667 north, and then 8.5500 east. That's going to give you the coordinates of Zurich and Switzerland. So we've got 3 sets of coordinates there, all obviously in completely different places. They're not like very close to each other at all. They're all in very varying geographical locations. Moving on, we see these Chinese characters, which I believe translate to 5104. Thanks to Nemesis for the translation on Twitter. If you've got a different translation that you believe is correct, then again, let me know in the comment section down below. This is a team effort, guys, so we all need to work on this together. Moving on a little bit further, we get the full Trident logo, which we haven't had. So we've now got the Trident, and we've got the image from earlier on. I mean, these, for all I know, could be friggin' Pokemon gym leader badges. Like, they look like the sort of thing that would make pretty damn good badges, in my opinion. Moving on further still, we go through some really interesting shots here where we can't really see too much. There are a lot of symbols on the screen, but we do end up here with another shot of a couple of the ladders, and we've also got, again, those TIE fighters on the left side of the screen. So just very, very peculiar, in my opinion. Eventually, it forms a character that you may or may not be familiar with. If you are, then why not drop a comment down below? I've been Mr. Offwaffles. Hope you guys have enjoyed this sort of preliminary breakdown of this trailer. There will be more to come, obviously. If you're excited for Black Ops 3, then hit subscribe. And if you're really excited for Black Ops 3, then you can like the video as well, if you feel like it. I'm sure you do. So I've been Mr. Offwaffles. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. As I said, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video and in future breakdowns and trailers and teasers and analyses and all that good stuff. Bye-bye.